is open to all people of Kerry and everywhere, but especially to you, the good people who live here in the lovely Republic of Finuge. Thank you very much indeed.
Now, the garden was designed by Dylan Byer, and Dylan is over here. Dylan came back from England. People refer to him as an Englishman, but we refer to him as a Finuge man. He's an Irishman now, but he has done tremendous work around the locality in collecting a lot of folklore, a lot of archival material, and he has a camera as well, and he's collecting a lot of archival material now for the future that would have been lost otherwise. So I would like to thank you sincerely, Dylan, for your very nice design. And just to tell you as well, this is just phase one of the project. We will be developing this further. We'll be putting seats in, and also we'll be putting flags around the open spaces here, and we'll be putting stone fronting all those walls with stone like the front. So it should be a very fine little project in about 2 years' time. Now, and Margaret, you don't have to cut a ribbon yet, but I'd prefer if you could come up here and say a few words first, so you come underneath. Yeah. And with Margaret here today, there are two daughters over, Samantha and Kerry. And Samantha and Kerry, just come up here a minute. Here today with us as well, Beth's sister, I just see her over in the background, Joan Fitzgibbon. So Joan, if you would like to come up, please. So.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Paul, Dylan, and everybody that took part in making this beautiful garden. I know my mum's looking down today with a big smile on her face, because this is exactly what she wanted. Thank you very much. And also, big thank you to Jimmy as well. Okay,
Fine. That's great. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Margaret now will just cut a ribbon, and I'd like just the members of the committee to just come in and join with her. And just to say, we have a very good committee, but there's one in particular I'd like to single out, and that's Michelle Gallivan. She's over there. Michelle is going to the primary school up there in Drumclough, but she's with us all the time. She's a great girl, and to all the other young girls here and young boys, she's a great example and a great role model to copy, because she's a fine young individual with a great future, and she spends a lot of her time here with her father Mike, preparing this place, getting it ready for today, and she's worked very hard on it. So on behalf of everyone, Michelle, we'd like to thank you very much. Leo, is Willie Connor out there, or Mike Sullivan? Leo, over here.
Move you in towards the middle there, you'll be
Right.
I move it in the back there then. Right.
And Liam, let him bring Liam over. Right, then get down there now. Okay, fine, Michelle, come in there. Can I move in there? Move in there. Move in there. Right. Right, Margaret.
Right.
So,
if you lift your head up there one side, yeah, looking out this way, and give you more like that.
all right.
Perfect.
Welcome everybody.
Now, this week we have Danny Doyle with us here in Finuge, and Danny Doyle was a very close friend of Sean McCarthy's. Back in 1965, Danny Doyle went into a club in London called the Crubeen Club, and Sean McCarthy ran the club for a number of years, and all of the great folk singers of the time went to the Crubeen Club. And Danny went there, he was very young at the time, and he met Sean on his way up the stairs. As he was telling me himself, he heard Sean singing that song, Some Say the Devil is Dead. You all probably know it. And they struck up a great friendship, and Sean gave all his songs to Danny, and Danny became famous. He's been all over the world. He's living in America now. He's very popular in America. So you've done the full circle, really, from the Crubeen Club back to Finuge, Danny. And it's great to have you here today. And Danny is going to give us a song or two. So I'd like if Danny came up. Yeah. And while Danny is getting his breath there, we'll just ask Liam to unveil the plaque, himself and Margaret. So they're just officially unveiling the plaque now at the moment in memory of Beth Collins.
Okay, lovely.
Right?
Look up here a second, lads. Yeah. And here we are now.
Now, we got funding for this project from the Millennium Fund. And as you know, there was about £30 million put aside for the Millennium for various celebrations and so on. And I think this was good value for money. There are not too many more projects around that you would identify with the Millennium. A lot of money, I think, was badly maybe spent as well. You have the very nice Millennium Arch in Listowel and this garden, and I'm not aware of too many more. So for the 500 quid we got, I think it's very good value for money. I think that if they get more money out in little projects like this rather than the candles, that you would have a lot better projects around the country. Now, we were very fortunate as well that we got $1,000 from Jan Joe Summers. Jan Joe is just up the road. He has 4 pubs in Boston. And if you hear from Boston, his 4 pubs, he's doing very well. It's great to see a local man doing well. But it's even better when that local man is prepared to put a few bob back into his community. And Jan Joe gave us a very important $1,000 in order to help us complete this project. So now I'll hand you over to Danny, who is going to give you some of those great songs that will no doubt lift the occasion.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Jimmy. Lovely to be here, ladies and gentlemen, in this gorgeous, flowery place. Great to be here at the weekend honouring my old friend Sean McCartney and singing some of his songs. And before I open my mouth and sing a song, the most important part of the afternoon is to tell you that this evening I will be in Sheen Shatira in Tralee. So for God's sake, would you ever come in there and we'll have a bit of gas. I read once about a farmer who played music for his cows, and when he did so, the milk output went up by about 25%. Now, maybe the same thing would work on flowers. So if you'd all seen the chorus, maybe when you come back here next year, these flowers will be twice as big and in even greater, more beautiful profusion than they are today. So Jimmy mentioned that the Crubeen Club in London, that's absolutely true. I walked up the stairs one night of the Crubeen Club for the first time. It was in Clapham Junction in London, a very seedy part of London. It was in a room above a dirty old pub. But up there in that room, as I ascended the stairs, I heard this great cherry voice. And it's the first song I ever heard Sean McCartney sing. So in honour of that occasion, that literally changed my life, we'll sing that song, Some Say the Devil is Dead. Now you have to sing the chorus and roll it out. You ready? Yeah. Well, thank you both of you. Some say the devil is dead, the devil is dead, the devil is dead. Some say the devil is dead and buried in Killarney. More say he rose again, more say he rose again, more say he rose again. And married Katie Carney. Feed the pigs and milk the cow, milk the cow, milk the cow. Feed the pigs and milk the cow early in the morning. Cock your leg up, Paddy dear, Paddy dear, Paddy dear. Cock your leg up, Paddy dear, it's time you stopped your yawning. Katie, she is tall and thin, tall and thin, tall and thin. Katie, she is tall and thin, she likes a sup of whiskey. She drinks it in the bed at night, the bed at night, the bed at night. She drinks it in the bed at night. She says it makes her sexy. Some say the devil is dead, the devil is dead, the devil is dead. Some say the devil is dead and buried in Killarney. and marry Katie Carney. My man, he is 6 foot tall, 6 foot tall, 6 foot tall. My man, he is 6 foot tall. He likes the sugar candy. He eats it in the bed at night, the bed at night, the bed at night. He eats it in the bed at night. He's lazy, fat and bandy. The wife, she has a hairy thing, a hairy thing, a hairy thing. The wife, she has a hairy thing. She showed it to me on Sunday. She bought it in a furrier shop, a furrier shop, a furrier shop. She bought it in the furrier shop. It's going back on Monday. Some say the devil is dead, the devil is dead, the devil is dead. Some say the devil is dead and buried in Killarney. More say he rose again, more say he rose again, more say he rose again, and married Katie Carney. Thanks very much, Jimmy. Thank you. I'll see you tonight inside in Sheemshatira at 8 o'clock, I think, is it? Thanks. Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank Danny Doyle. He's been a great help to us over the weekend. We've got great value for money. He even danced in the bog yesterday. Now, there's another person here I would like to mention as well. That's Patrick Sheehan, the most photographed man, I would say, in the country. And he's not one of these people that's shy. He's like politicians, they're not shy of photographs. But Patrick Sheehan is a great gentleman. He lives in the house here. There was never any problem with developing the garden. We're right up against his housing unit. He had no difficulty whatsoever. He's been totally cooperative with us at all times. And I would like to thank you, Patrick, on behalf of the committee for all the work and all the help you give. And for the Bogadiers.
This wasn't Let's sing a song anyway.
Get it moving.
Hello. How are you? We were on the road to Ballybone actually. We're going out to Ballybone.
We were to get a little wife for this fella here.
This is my mother and that's my father. I'm their only son. And we have a little continental land at home, but we have no money in this to take over there. So if any out there know of a woman, what age would she want to be?
Yeah, it wouldn't matter really.
About 25 postage, kind of. What other review would she want? Or the dowry, very important. Very, very important. You can't be any good without a dowry. Anyway, we also do a bit of tomfoolery around the place, and we weren't going to do any tomfoolery today, but Jimmy D and Ashton so it was a better. And that's Johnny there, the father. Right. Anyway, I'm going to do, what did I do, Charlotte? Derla Banmore. Do you know what Banmore is? Did you know what it is? Hands up who knows what Banmore is. We all know what it is. Right, anyway, I'll do it. It was written, I swear my oath, by Brian McMahon way back, and it describes a fella called Derla Banmore, and I'll just very briefly tell you about it. I wonder, are all the people going to England now doing as well over as John Errol's son, Richie? I heard all about him, but between this, that and other things, they're going way back to the back of my toe. Whatever he was at anyway, he was kind hand over fish, so much so that he put a fine dash, something like myself, in a velour hat, a navy blue suit, and a watch and chain. He was prominent at every amusement, and he was this night at a dance when he made up with a fine, sprinkleable one, and they were out on the floor and every set, and coming towards the end of the night, he asked her was there any chance of the convey. You know what the convey is? She raised no objection, and off went the two of them down the road, something like this little road here now, and they came to the young girl's gate, and she said to him, would you like to come in to meet the family? I would of course, says Richie, and you know lads, for anybody that have daughters, it's the only way to do things. In they went, and it turned out that the young lady's father was a lord. Look at that. The bottle was produced. If they didn't have it, no one had had it. And after a few smacks, smahans all round, the young lady suddenly declared, I'm going to marry this young man. Will you wish you marks you, said the Lord, and don't you know that you can marry no Lord and a Neville? And how do we know what this fella came out of? Likely or not, he was born in a tent, hinting at certain things. Was I now, says Richie, getting a bit catching himself? I have one know that my father is Delaban Moore. So he is. He said, how bad, says the Lord, we'll soon find out about that. Sending upstairs for his agent, who came down, and he was now soon down, then he was dispatched over to Ireland to find out if there was such a person as Delaban Moore, and to see how was he situated. The agent arrived, I think, above and down Lair or somewhere, and after a bit of foostering around, because the signposts were desperate in those days, they're no better now, like. And the potholes were worse, actually, in fact. Comedian in. He arrived above at Banmore Cross. And for anybody that know Banmore Cross, there's a big long boring going up with ditches on both sides of it, and it was the same in those days. And standing on either side of the ditches, there were goats with their horns and beards sticking up out over the ditch, and the agent being from the city, never before saw a goat in his life. He looked at them and said, good mara mean, do you see it? You know. He proceeded up along the road anyway, and he came to a house very similar to the detached house around the corner, and there standing at the half door was an old man, and he went over to him and said, are you the Earl of Banmore? I am, fair, says the old man, because no one else of that sort of name exists in this town, and won't you come in? In he went. And when the old fella heard he was from England, he filled him up with every sort of a story. And he got serious all of a sudden, then the old fella, he said, you know something, he said, I wouldn't be here at all this Bahan, he said, only for the fact that my castle below in Finuge is presently being dished umpered. Look at the cuteness of him. You'd eat a bag of salt before you catch out a carry man, and you'd eat 10 or 11 bags before you catch out a carry woman. And that's for sure. Talking about women, Mrs. Earl was there too, and she was foostering around the kitchen, and in no time at all she had a big spread laid out on the table, and she asked the agent to come over, and he did. And below at the butt of the kitchen there were these two tanks, like cranberry tanks, with roly-boly pipes going from one to the other, and a drip, drip, drip into a white enamel bucket, and every now and then the old man was going on and bring up the full of a muller and hand it over to the agent. And in no time at all he was paralytic, legless. He didn't know whether it was in heaven or hell he was. Night time came, where were they going to put him? They couldn't put him up in the lift. So the old fella, he picked the side off the rafters, went out across the yard, up into the haggard, cut about the rushes, brought him down, threw him in front of the hut, and said to the agent, bed yourself down there for the night, which he did. And got up in the morning,